Alright, now it's recording.
Exactly. I'm nervous.
This installation of multiple episodes of us talking about things regarding life in all different aspects. From life choices, relationships, to a topic for every episode. These aren't going to be very long, but we want to touch on things that are just, on top of mind. And so the first one that we're going to talk about is life choices, right? That's a big topic. Life choices shape our memories and our relationships and whatnot. Edith?
Well, why don't we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
My name is Edith. I was born and raised in Tri-Cities, Washington. I moved to LA 4 years ago. And I kind of been traveling everywhere in the past year. And I'm just me, I guess. I don't know. Does that explain me? I guess not.
Someone for the first time, like, is that how you would introduce yourself? I mean, I don't know. It's tough, right?
I mean, pretty much. Born and raised in Tri-Cities. I went to school at WSU, moved to LA, worked in HR, model here and there.
Okay.
I love to have fun. And that's it. Pretty much. There you go. That was it.
I'm Bailey. I go by B or Bay. My uncles would call me any B name, Billy, Beetle, whatever, Bill.
Any B name?
My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
That's what you would say if you're introducing yourself to someone you've never met?
No, if I haven't met someone, I was open-minded about a lot of things. I've tried a lot of things. I've done a lot of things, and I've learned a lot of things. I know that's pretty vague, but I'm pretty open-minded. I like to meet people. I like to have conversations. Yeah, and I like to tackle topics that I feel like people don't necessarily talk about, or maybe maybe they make a decision on a topic and sit with it for a long time and maybe don't reevaluate it, which is, part of growth. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if I met someone, I don't even know what I would say. I think I wouldn't even talk about myself. I would try and ask the other person.
Honestly, same. I'm usually the one listening. But
yeah.
Today's topic is life choices. And I guess you want to start where do you think you made your big first life choice?
It's crazy because in different times of your life, a decision could seem way bigger than
I know.
Looking back, right? So I think my first one was when I went to college. Typically for college, people don't come back after their first year or any year to spend it with their parents, right? And for me, I was I'm just gonna work in Seattle and meet people and just settle down in a way, and just start working.
You didn't go to college?
No, I went to college, but after my first year, instead of coming back home for summer, I was I'm gonna work.
Got it.
And
yeah.
check out the city and just live here and figure it out. Yeah, it's hard to say because one of the so my first decision that I made that was life altering or created one of my favorite memories was going to Europe. Going to Europe during college and after college. That was biggest decision I made. I couldn't afford it. I put it on a credit card. This isn't financial advice, but it was one of the best decisions.
Honestly, I think traveling is, I know a lot of people don't think this, especially people in my family, because I'm always out and about traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't see they're like, why are you doing that? You're not doing anything for your future, but it's all experiences. Cultures, food, people, you're getting to experience all these things that you would have never known. Especially coming from a small town. Let me tell you, Tri-Cities, there's not a lot here.
Yeah.
Talking about personal experience, I'm the firstborn of my Mexican parents.
Yeah.
I didn't know English until I was in 4th grade. And all I knew was pretty much whatever the food my mom made and whatever, we went to McDonald's maybe. And then when I went to college, I was like, I experienced like a whole new world. Actually, I never had Thai food. The first time I ever had Thai food was in Thailand.
Kind of a flex.
When I studied abroad in Thailand. And I was like, there's so much to fucking experience.
Yeah.
And I get it if you're like a person that's like, oh, well, I just want to start a family and I want to stay home and that. Whatever makes you happy, but why are you laughing?
It's just funny because, like, yeah, that is, like, it's kind of like one or the other. I mean, like, a lot, well, it's not, but you know what I mean? Like, people, like, will settle down or, like, they choose.
Some people don't see the value in it.
Yeah.
It's like, you're comfortable, you're happy, yesy.
Yeah.
You know? The world is so fucking beautiful.
It is. Yeah. You could go to the other side of the world and you're just like, dang, there's just a whole other universe out here.
Mm-hmm.
Whole other culture, the way people dress, the interact.
The way they talk, the way they treat people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're like, it's been crazy. I was supposed to go to FITM after high school. I got accepted and everything. And I think that was my first big decision that I made. I didn't go.
Why didn't you go? What was it? What made you not want to go?
I was scared.
You're scared?
I was scared I was leaving by myself. Yeah. Out of state tuition. And I hate to think that money plays into all of these things. Traveling, experiencing new things, schools, like why? Why the fuck is money an issue? Because when we die, we're not taking any of it. We're not taking anything.
Money doesn't even make sense.
Right?
Someone could be part ownership, like have part ownership of a business that's worth $1 billion. But then like the next year, the government says, yo, there's this bill that passed and like it affects your business heavily. And now your $1 billion business is only worth $100,000. So like maybe your net worth was like worth a couple million, but after that, like now it's only worth like $50K. Like it doesn't really like, I feel like money's weird. Honestly, it's fucking weird.
Though what I always tell myself is it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I could do it over, I'm talking about regrets.
Dang.
I should have went. But I appreciate my time at WSU because it taught me so fucking much.
Yeah.
I learned about a lot of different cultures that I didn't know. I got to travel. I went to Thailand. I studied abroad in Thailand. I went to Australia that same year, which is fucking crazy. And I met some of my best friends.
Yeah, right? So there's always, I mean, yeah.
I think maybe things always happen how they should. But I feel like if you're making a decision right now and it's based off of money or bullshit like that, I would say just do it.
I think that like they should think about like the big decisions that they're about to make. So like someone in their high school years, obviously like the next step is either the traditional route of college or start working or like settle down maybe and like start a family. In mid-20s has start a family, doesn't have college, maybe it's like stay in their career or change, and then someone in their 30s, they might have kids. Like does it end for them? Like what do you think?
The first thing that comes to my mind is always go with your gut. Think you always know what's right and what's wrong. Right?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's just crazy. Like, the reason why we even brought up this topic was because we were thinking about like, you know, some people at an early age, maybe their parents say like, hey, like the traditional thing is to like, some cultures are like, you know, you get married when you're like 19 and like start thinking about a family and whatnot. Some people are like, you know, you're going to go to college for 4 years, then you're going to go for another 2 years to get your PhD and then start your career. And then some, like, are kind of hands off and you kind of just figure it out. Like, it's just different for everybody, so.
To be honest, the only reason why I finished and I got my degree is because I thought it would make my parents proud. The only reason. There's a lot of times that I wanted to quit so fucking bad.
That's a good point. Do you think that people should? Okay, this is a good topic because this bleeds into life choices. Like I know a lot of like. Do you think that people should? Okay, this is a good topic because this bleeds into life choices. Like I know a lot of like family members of mine, cousins, you know, like that spend time with their family. They work to help to help like contribute to the household, right? To pay for things, which is like a noble thing, but like I don't know. I think it's just tough because like this would make
Be the
them
right,
happy.
yeah.
Like, is that right? Is that noble? Like, we think that's like a noble thing to do? Like that's like how you make yourself like the best child for someone, or do you think that people should start to think a little differently?
Look, I don't think I'm the best child. I fucked up.
That's hilarious. I mean, we've all have, yeah.
I fucked up. I have fucked up.
Yeah.
And I've done things that probably made my parents a little ashamed of me. But I got my degree, which it's like what they call a fucking American dream. Your parents, they instill that in you. You gotta get an education because you're gonna get a good job. And honestly, that's a little bit of bullshit. You don't need an education to get a good job.
That's true.
And that's the shit that we learn afterwards. I mean, but it's helping, you know? Like it doesn't put you at a, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you get like getting a degree helps you get a job that requires a degree, which is like, you know, a lot of jobs, but the jobs that pay the most, it's like creating value for other people, which doesn't necessarily.
Dude, like people that put in the hard labor, electricians, like mechanics, all that shit. That's something you're not gonna learn in college.
A trade school for that. My brother actually, he's going into welding school, and it's different than the traditional route of going to 4 years to take, you know, general education on William Shakespeare or like, you know, psychology 101. Like he's not learning that, but he's learning a valuable skill that will pay him forever, you know.
Exactly.
So it's really about networking. The best opportunities in my life have come through networking and meeting
100%.
people and just being a good person, because at the end of the day, you want to do business with people that are good people. Like if you have to choose an accountant one day and there's one boring accountant that's just as good as an accountant that's really funny, you're probably going to choose the one that's funny.
The one that makes you feel the best, I guess.
Mean, yeah. At the end of the day, like you want to work with people that you like to work with.
Networking is a big part of life. Last job that I had, I got because of a person that I worked with before at another job.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best job that I've ever had. And it was amazing.
There's a lot of choices you gotta make, and like right now, I mean, I guess as a young individual, you should probably think about those things. Hey, am I doing this because it's what my parents think is best for me? Because at the end of the day, you're eventually going to be the same age as your parents. And if there's one thing that I've learned is like 5 years ago or 5 years in the future, not a whole lot changes in terms of like me knowing the world, me knowing how things work. Like you're always continually learning, and your parents are just the same. Like they don't know the answer to every single thing. They might be able to guide you, but doesn't necessarily mean that they know every answer, and that's no fault to them. But I think it's an important thing to think about when you're making decisions of like, am I doing this because like this is what I want to do, or is it because I think it's going to make my mom happy or my dad
Or you're
happy?
being influenced by something. Think about what you really want.
Yeah.
And I know that shit's hard. Honestly, thinking about my sister's 16 years old.
Shout out to sister, 16.
Honestly, when I was 16, what the fuck was I doing?
You're probably listening to, I don't know, you listening to Soulja Boy?
No, that was middle school.
Oh shoot, my bad.
Like honestly, from the ages of 15 through 20, you think you're unstoppable. Yeah. You think that you can do anything. And let me tell you, that shit catches up to you real fucking fast.
Yeah. I mean, you feel like you know what love is. It's crazy, huh?
You feel like you know everything.
Yeah.
Legit. Like you're so sure of yourself. I want that feeling again.
Yeah.
I want to be sure of myself.
Obviously, you can go to college. Maybe that is right for you, you know? Maybe like going a trade route is right for you. What about like relationships?
I've met the love of my life.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that it's the craziest feeling. Just like the first time that I ever laid eyes on him, I was like, I fucking know you. Like, you're part of me.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's hard sometimes. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy.
Yeah, nothing is easy.
But I feel like when you find that person, I think you, like, know. Like, you know. I don't know.
No, it's true. I mean,
you know how they say, though, you know how those people say, no, I just fucking knew. And it's a sucky explanation, but sometimes you just know.
There's a lot of people out there in the world, is what I'll say. I mean, going to I went to Europe, and I wanted to go because I didn't know anything other than going to Europe. Like, just that sentence sounded so cool to me. I didn't really know like what food I was gonna like encounter. I didn't know like all the shitty stuff that was gonna happen, and just like basically all the people that I was gonna meet. But what I did learn was that there's a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of fucking people in the world. So like,
AKA, there's a lot of people you can fall in love with.
There's a lot of people you can fall in love with. And like you said, maybe it's different. Like, maybe it is different, like finding like that special one. I would say like to my younger brother, like if something, or or just anyone really that I like was talking to about this topic, is that just to be patient, because really you will, like you said, you'll know, or the timing will just be right, and you'll know it's like.
And sometimes it's not.
Yeah, this is.
But you'll still know, and then you have to work really fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. We'll revisit this one. No, it is a big topic, like finding your partner, because it is true, because like it's a huge life choice.
And then there's like the other side of it though, like, why do we feel like we need a partner? Like, society just is like, you have to be married, you have to have someone to be fulfilled. It doesn't have to be like that. And I mean, it can be if you want it to be, because I mean, life is beautiful when you share with someone, but like, why do we have to feel that way? Why do we have to feel like we're unfulfilled because we don't have someone in our lives?
Well, okay, so there's like some people that say the reason why you're in a relationship is to procreate, right? Like to have children, to have a family. Like, some people are like religiously
set on that.
Yeah, set on that. Then there's some people that are like, my friends in Seattle, I feel like it's a little bit different. Like, having a polyamorous relationship and having multiple partners is not unheard of. And then there's people, I mean, I feel like there's a wide spectrum of it, but I do feel like in the Tri-Cities and smaller cities, people who don't know what Tri-Cities is, like smaller cities, like it is about like finding someone to like build and like have a family with. Because you hear people say like, yeah, I have like 7 wives, or like like I can mess around, a girl can't, or I don't know, there's a lot of things.
Everything is out there now.
I saw this guy that said he was addicted to financial domination.
What the fuck does that mean?
That half of his paycheck every single time he got paid went to this dominatrix chick that would pay that would decide what bills she would pay for him, and like would decide his allowance from half of his paycheck.
Okay, well, how do I do that?
I don't know. I was like,
no, shit is crazy. Yeah. Shit is crazy. But all I'm saying is, like, as a person that, kind of likes her independence. I like my independence. Not kind of. I do like my independence. Why do I have to feel bad if I don't have a fucking partner? Like,
do you feel bad?
Well, sometimes you get fucking lonely.
So it's not like an outside source. It's like you.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, thugs get lonely too, you know what I'm saying? Not me though, but people get lonely. People get lonely.
It's complicated.
Are you lonely or are you alone?
I don't know how to be alone.
Oh, you don't?
I don't enjoy my own company.
Have you ever lived by yourself?
Never. Complicated. It's not complicated. I just haven't lived by myself, but yeah.
I lived by myself. It's kind of crazy.
I guess it is an internal thing. Like, I just feel lonely. It's not that society's like, you better have a fucking partner.
And is it because you want to, like, just hold someone and, like, watch Netflix? Or is it because, like, you want to be like, oh, Friday night, I'm going to go out with my boo thing and we're going to go, like, eat sushi?
At this point, I don't even know what it is.
You want someone to go to Costco with?
At all times. It doesn't even matter who the fuck it is.
Oh, gosh.
I just want someone to go to Costco with me.
Yo, shout out to Costco. They're a sponsor of this episode.
Hey, my mom works at Costco.
Her mom works at Costco. Shout out to Costco. They're a big sponsor of this episode, so thank you guys.
Do you think we went off on a tangent? We
probably did go off. Let's go back to the thing. Okay, so life choices. We talked a little about it. You should probably go out and travel. I think honestly.
Even if you have kids, because I know a lot of people here have kids. Like, show your kids the fucking world. Even if you don't have to go far. Go to Mexico. Go to LA. Go,
Yeah. There's people watching this that say, okay, I got a family, and they're talking at the screen right now. They're saying, like, yo, I don't have the money to, like, take my whole family out there. What would you say to that?
Money comes and goes.
Money
honestly,
isn't real.
Get a fucking credit card. Go. I don't think that money should be a fucking issue.
Yeah.
As bad as it is, I know, like, you're thinking, like, well, I gotta buy a house. I gotta have good credit. Damn, those are really big factors, but I agree though, because, like, I feel like a lot of people in my family are like, well, you're paying rent, but you don't own it. Okay, but then you die, and then who keeps your fucking house?
Yeah,
a
house isn't an investment.
You know what I mean?
It's not an investment. And, like, honestly, I was talking to my best friend. Shout out best friend Liam. You know I love you. Like, I feel like, honestly, if I could share a house with my best friend, and, like, it was big enough to, like, we could do our own thing sometimes, like, and we could just, like, cut down on costs, I feel like that's perfectly normal. But I feel like in smaller cities, and then just to some people in general, like, they don't want to do that. And I get it too, like, you want your own space, but I just think that, I don't know, sharing more memories with my best friend, cutting down on costs, which allows me to have more money to, like, experience other things, is just, like, a triple win.
Yeah, but you're not thinking about people with families.
Okay, people with families. All right, let's think.
Fuck the money. Fuck the money. Get a credit card. Go on the fucking trip. Honestly, fuck it.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I guess I'm not the one paying your bills, though, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have a long life. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Damn, I'm kind of morbid, but...
Yeah, I mean, that is true, though. That is true. Life is short. Tomorrow...
Exactly. So think about that. Like, you don't know when you're going to die. You're going to die tomorrow. Wouldn't you have wanted to experience some shit?
Yeah, go skydiving or something. Or go swim with the sea turtles.
Go to the... I was going to say river, but I meant beach.
Go to the river, too. I mean, shout out to the river.
Go to Columbia, the Columbia River.
Shout out to Columbia River boat race weekend.